What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 2, Easter eggs, callbacks, connections, things we thought of when we saw the episode. So obviously, spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. Now, if you saw Talking Dead for episode 1102, you know some of this information, but some other stuff you may not have caught. But hit that subscribe button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We love talking about The Walking Dead all year round, and we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead Season 11, that's for sure. But like I said, guys, we need your help to achieve that goal of 100,000 subscribers. But any way you can support the channel, we truly appreciate it. Now, per Talking Dead, viewers may have noticed that 2 of the advertisements inside the train cars were actually Easter eggs from the show. Well, it was so dark, I have to admit, I didn't see it, because there's just no way to tell in real time. But if you go back and watch, one was Dwayne Jones whiskey or bourbon, which Father Gabriel and Aaron stole from May's last season, in season 10, episode 19, I believe. The other was Gorbelli Foods Company, which Tara's dad worked for pre-apocalypse. Well, right here is the Gorbelli advertisement above the window there. You see Frost trying to get the door open, and you see the advertisement right there. But it was also the truck that was parked out front of Tara and her family's apartment with the governor in season 4. We've also seen it before on various canned goods, spaghetti rings or S-Getty rings, Gorbelli. So it's pretty cool when you see these callbacks. Now, if you didn't see the season 10 extra episodes, you didn't know this part right here, but it was Dwayne Jones, and I believe it's bourbon, even though it said whiskey on Talking Dead. But either way, it's a callback to Morgan Jones's son, but also an actor in a back in the day zombie apocalypse movie. Do you know the movie? Let me know in the comments. Also, Maggie's SOS message from under the train car is the first time a character on the show has communicated using Morse code. Executive producer Denise Huth says it's possible she learned it from the Morse code chart that was on the wall at Rick and Michonne's house in season 7. So yes, there's a chart in Alexandria right there. You see the American Morse code chart. We thought about this way back when, in season 7, when Daryl was blinking. Like, is he giving Morse code? He was like blinking, and you're like, what? But also, the mural Daryl finds was inspired by 2 works of art, The Triumph of Death by Peter Bruegel and Elder and the Garden of Earthy Delights by this person. In every section of the mural, the people are fighting each other and not the walkers around them. So I think it's a possible connection with foreshadowing for the Commonwealth, just because that's kind of what happens in the Commonwealth story for the comics. Sorry if I butchered those names, I apologize. But we see people wearing crowns like they're high society, people of power, people of prestige, and they're fighting people around them. So I talk about it in a separate video that I think it's possible foreshadowing for the Commonwealth story arc. I think it could definitely happen on the show. As for the grenade, it's a pretty great picture right there. Daryl puts the grenade in the walker's mouth and boom. But for me, it's a callback to the tank walker. You see the grenade right there next to the tank walker. And if you think about it, he was our first lurker. So it's a callback, right? Carol had the grenade. I love when, if you go back and watch the first season, it cracks me up every time what Shane says to Carol here. But you see Rick gets the gun, gets their grenade, and he takes that with him. But also, if you think about it, he went under the tank and got in that way. Maggie had to go under the train car and went in that way. To me, it's a callback to the tank, but also Glenn with the dumpster. It's just, I don't know. It's not the same thing by any means, but Glenn, Maggie, they're always connected. They got away from the walkers. They were surrounded. They got to safety, and everything was good. But I love going back and watching the previous seasons of The Walking Dead. But if you think about it, this was our first lurker. He was asleep, and he woke up when Rick was next to him. Daryl finds a bag of goodies, the $100 bill from the suitcase of money. He finds the 2 things of food, but also reminds me of the blue meth that's in the bag here in season 2. Connection, callback, whatever, to Breaking Bad and the blue meth. The $100 bill at the bottom of it here, it says the radio every day at 10. So to me, it's a callback to the radio with Morgan and Rick when Rick was telling him, I'll turn my radio on every day, and they never got to talk. And what if Morgan never came back around again? That would have been a missed opportunity. He came around in season 3 and then season 5, and now he's on Fear the Walking Dead. So it's kind of crazy. As for the $100 bill, you see Jesse and Tom. We had a Jesse at Alexandria. Is that a callback there? Are these kids still alive? We see a photograph. Is this the same photograph? It reminds a lot of people of Noah's brothers, but also reminds me somewhat of the photograph that Glenn took of Maggie. They were both Polaroids. I just kind of love callbacks there, and it's always nice to see that. But also a missing persons board that we saw in season 11, episode 1. The 2 kids are missing, and so is their dad, so it kind of fits. Gage takes himself out. I don't really know why he kills himself, but he makes them watch, and what does he say? Liar, like the governor. Liar. And then shing, the governor being a villain, that's for sure. As for liars on the show, Eugene, does he lie to Mercer? I think so, because that's what Eugene does. He's a good liar, but Mercer doesn't think so. So does Mercer not know how to read people? We'll have to see, but if you remember, Eugene was lying to the group, Abraham, Rosita, really everybody, for a couple seasons, that he said he's Dr. Eugene Porter and he knows how to end the zombie apocalypse. Weaponize diseases to fight weaponized diseases. It's just, he is a great liar, which is kind of funny that Mercer doesn't know that. We saw this walker that was handcuffed to a briefcase full of money. It's his left arm that was chopped off, just like Aaron's. I know it's much lower, but it's his left arm. And I have to say that Aaron is looking more and more like Comic Rick. The briefcase full of money is kind of cool. Also the connection with the Commonwealth and the money we talked about in another video. But the handcuffs remind me of Merle being handcuffed on top of the roof by Rick. And you would think you would have more sets of handcuffs to interrogate people and to restrain them. We haven't seen that too much. And also Tyrese had his left arm chopped off. So the walker's left arm, Aaron's left arm, and Tyrese's left arm. Dead end. Fun fact. In this episode where Tyrese is bit and then eventually dies, when he hallucinates, he hears things on the radio. That's Andrew Lincoln's real voice. And we all know this is one of Noah's twin brothers that bites Tyrese, and then this walker is killed. It reminds a lot of people of the picture right here of the 2 kids. Also, the bunny that's in this photo is the bunny that Maggie found on the train tracks, per Angela Kang. And to me, it's also a callback to Teddy Bear Girl, who is wearing bunny slippers. And a little piece of trivia, what are the first words spoken on The Walking Dead? Anyone? Let me know in the comments below. Cole loses his right hand a la Rick in the comics. The governor did not chop off Cole's hand, but the Reapers did. But Rick did not lose his hand on the show, and that's most likely due to the budget that it would cost to edit out his hand. Roy was killed by an arrow or a bolt, but let's just go with an arrow. It reminds me of another character that died in a similar way, even though it was the opposite way. Denise was shot in the back of the head by Dwight with Daryl's crossbow. That's pretty crazy right there. Eugene was put in front of another train car. I wonder if he was getting any flashbacks of Terminus. Did you get a flashback there too? It's kind of a similar color. It's not the same situation by any means, but Eugene is the only one that was involved with Terminus, and also the Commonwealth angle here. He makes a shiv out of a piece of wood. And per Josh McDermott on Talking Dead, he brought up a good point. Here, he made a shiv and he was ready to defend himself. At this point in time, Eugene has changed. He was scared. He had to rely on himself right here when he was taken away by the Commonwealth guards. But when he's here in the Terminus train car, you see Abraham and Michonne ready to fight with their makeshift weapons, and Eugene is nowhere to be found. So he was relying on others to protect him. Man, episode 501 is great. Mercer bangs on the door, and then it slides open. They say, "Welcome to the Commonwealth," right? So it's kind of like, hey guys, you're free to go. But who walks in? Stephanie. Nice red glasses, by the way. And to me, it seems like a setup. Like, why would she be there? She doesn't know Eugene. And I just don't think it's the real Stephanie. This could be level 2 for the level 2 audit. You know, level 1 was in the processing there. So this could be level 2 processing. But we'll have to see how it goes down. Did you catch these things? Do you agree? Disagree? It's all good either way. It's a bunch of fun things to talk about The Walking Dead. Season 11 is great so far. I've seen all 3 episodes, and it's kind of weird to talk about the episodes on YouTube because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So I have to put the disclaimer out there, you know, spoiler warning, always to do that. But, you know, all 3 episodes are great so far. And I can't wait to talk about season 11, episode 3 and 4 and 5, and really all 8 episodes of the first part. And then Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 and World Beyond Season 2. But we love The Walking Dead, the fandom, the community, and making great videos about the Walking Dead universe. So please subscribe so you don't miss out on our daily Walking Dead videos. Stay safe. As always, tell them Daryl.